All right, we're the Hebrew Israelites. We come here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America, the stolen land of the 12 tribes of Israel. We come out to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, speckled birds. Right? Get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, and get back in order. All right? Because time is so short. Time is so short, this devil is throwing everything he got at the wall right now. So stay tuned for the zombies. That's how desperate he is. All right? So they plant it in your mind with Walking Dead and The Last of Us and the CDC zombie apocalypse, right? And bath salts. All right, so first and foremost, and as always, we face the east. Kol halal Yahweh b'Hashim Yahweh Shah b'Hashim HaKadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, GMS, including the elder that came before them, and taught us this truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word, the truth, and the sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right. So, again, we're at the end. You got niggas defecting from fake camps, right? That's the news of the day. The news of the day are the elect are being gathered. Out of all of these phony camps, guess what? Everybody wants to be a bum now, huh? Now you want to be a bum now. What you want is you want to be covered under 100% truth, doctrine. All right. So let's start right there. All right. When I was a kid, okay, they had in the way of robots in the 1960s. Okay, this thing is about technology. All right. In the 1960s, the robots that we had, I remember as a kid, for Christmas Day, I got this robot, right? And it was a piece of tin, it was all mocked up, and these doors would open on his chest, and they had these two little looked like rays. They'd light up. It was like these, it'd shoot, right? They'd close and he'd walk a little more. That was a robot, right? I got a robot for Christmas. And then you had Lost in Space, if you understand what Lost in Space is, right? Right, and bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this. So in the 1960s, technology, right, was whatever it was at the time, right? Weren't no computers, right? And the only robots were Rosie the robot, and the Jetsons. And the Jetsons was portraying a future time, okay? Lost in Space was about space travel on a spaceship, if you will. They had Will Robinson, Holly Robinson, and they had the parents, and then they had the robot. They had Dr. Smith, right? Will Robinson, help Will Robinson, right? And the robot. And Dr. Smith, he dealt with the robot, right? And the robot was this thing, right? It was a slow walking robot, and his chest opened up, and he had legs. Not so much that. Okay, so you had Rosie on the Jetsons, you had Lost in Space, and you had the robot with Dr. Smith. I had a little robot. This is in the 60s. And then you had something in the 60s that was called Star Trek. Okay? This is in the 60s. Okay? So somebody that was born back then, right? They understand. Here's what they understand. Okay, you're probably about 60 years old if you were born in the 60s or in the early 60s, or before that. You're you're older than 60. You're 60 or older. Okay? So you know, you watch technology come in. All right? You remember Pong, if you remember Pong. Pong was the first video game, okay? And then you remember Atari 2600. When Atari came in, that was a huge leap from Pong. You remember Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. You remember Asteroids. You remember Dig Dug, right? You remember these things. So-called video games, right? So when Atari came in, right, that was a big step moving forward in technology. You remember Texas Instruments put out a calculator. Oh, I got to get a calculator, Texas Instruments, $100. Now that same calculator you can get for a couple of bucks, right? All watches or all computers or your phone got a calculator on it and all this shit, right? So anyway, these things were, when Texas Instruments put out that calculator, that was a thing. So here's where I'm going with this. Technology today. A nigga ain't got a job today at McDonald's because it's automated. Because they got robots that do the job of a whole nigga today. Right? Now, to somebody who was watching Lost in Space and watching the robot, and they got what is it? What's the name of the robots today? Sophia, the robot, right? They got lifelike robot. They got robots that can talk and walk and do shit, make shit, serve you at what was on the cartoon, right? Rosie was the maid in the Jetsons. She was the maid, right? If you watch the Jetsons, was a cartoon. It was an animated cartoon. And Rosie was the maid. So theoretically, she was, if the Jetsons was in the future, Rosie would be Sophia of today. Okay? Well, we'll buy a robot for $200,000 and the robot can be your butler today. You understand? They got robots in automotive plants. Niggas got fired, lost their job. Fuck the union. Union don't mean shit no more because they got robots, right? This is technology today. All right? And again, somebody that used to watch Star Trek or Lost in Space, okay, you've seen these steps to get to today. Remember there weren't no computers? A cell phone? We saw cell phones used to be this big, right? And you used to put it up with two hands, and the only one that doctors used to have them, and the first drug dealers, right? In the early 80s, the first drug dealers, right? Before cocaine, or at the beginning of cocaine, you had a cell phone. It was a big old thing, or one in your car. It's a cell phone. It was built into your car, and you'd be flossing, right? Today, everybody's got a cell phone. You can get one walking down the street. You don't want it. I don't want a cell phone. They're giving them away. So we watch technology grow, okay? Let's say the elder apostle Tahar is a couple of years older than me, okay? Number one in Israel, okay? Do you think he don't know what the MOTB is? That it's not the sea hip? This is about technology. This is about buying and selling in today's world. Not sin. We've been sinning all the way through the 60s. How is the MOTB sin? Sin been around forever. Here's what hasn't been around forever. The way technology is today, if you watched technology for the last 60 years and understand what they're about to bring in right now, they're about to bring in a digital system that they weren't able to do in 1969. Okay? One West started in what, 1969? And now, they have the infrastructure at Whole Foods to wave your hand that's got a C-hip in it so you can buy and sell. Only thing that makes any sense, right? They got robots. We're in a technological age. They got something called Bitcoin, right? And they had no motherfucking Bitcoin back in the 60s. They had gold and silver and FRNs. And then in 1972 or 73, they took the gold away from the FRNs. So when you understand history, and I'm talking about recent history, if you were born in the 1980s, right? Let's say that, when was the elder apostle Tahar born? I'll tell you. He was probably born in 1959. That's the 50s. Maybe 58. Maybe 59. Maybe 60. Did you hear me say 1950? If you were born in 1980, and the elder apostle was born in the 50s, okay? What the fuck do you know if you're born in the 80s? Some of you were born in the 90s, right? Okay? Now, however old you are right now, let's say you're 30, and a nigga hasn't even been born yet, right? And when that nigga turns 20 years old, he's gonna say that he knows more than you. He ain't even been born yet. But in 20 years, that same nigga is gonna jump up and say, I know more than you. This is what we're dealing with. A nigga turns 20 years old and he knows more than somebody that was born 30 years before you. So if you're 30, right, a nigga ain't been born yet, and when he turns 20, how old is the 30-year-old now? He's 50. And your dumbass has the audacity. You learned 3 scriptures, or you might have learned 60 scriptures, but you know how to wield. The Most High came down and said, never mind the 50-year-old who's been doing this work before you were born. Never mind him. I got a special nigga over here. I'm going to take everything away from the man that's been faithfully working for those 30 years. I'm going to give it all to this special guy over here, because he's just so sharp and wise beyond his years. This is what we're dealing with. I got a phrase. It's called a snot-nosed kid, right? And there's a lot of them that are as proud as they can possibly be. That'll stand in a grown man's face and talk to you as though you can't just look at the snot running down from this kid's face. And we're in the day right now that the Most High is exposing these fucking kids, and your ass is in trouble. You are in trouble. One of these fucking snot-nosed kids, right? This fucking abomination, right? Tried to tell me that I'm an old bottle and the wine is seeping out, right? And now this nigga is a straight up bug out. Oh, you old bottle, the wine is seeping out, old bottle. Right? Now you're a fucking bug out. You really got to be careful in this thing. Because this is not a game. You fucking kids think this is a game. All right? So, all of that. All right? I'm long-winded. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now you niggas have been handpicked by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to come out here and be fucking monkeys, right? And this kid in WFI, which is a bunch of kids, right? This guy is being shown to be a monkey. In his infinite wisdom, right? He done gassed himself up, right? Built a cult of personality around himself. And right now is being cold exposed for being a monkey in this truth. Being a stone cold monkey, and it's just beginning. Here's what, and let me explain the Simeonistic perplexities. All right, this guy has been walking around proud, right, with the precepts. These precepts, right? Guess what? See? You think, and this is a fucking kid, you think you got it. You think you got it. You walk and then you get proud. Then you can't be corrected. You can't be told a damn thing. Somebody done gassed you up. You believe your own press clippings. And you truly believe that the Most High is dealing with you. And really he's not. Right? And before you know it, you're bugged out. Before you know it, you're bugged out. And we've seen it. When you've been in this thing for a minute, you see somebody who you thought had it. Right? Patak had it. You look at him, he had it. And then you look up and he's gone, he's bugged out. And you know what that is supposed to scare the shit out of you. You're supposed to be like, I thought that guy had it. Now he's bugged out. Right? Now he's bugged out. And that's scary. All right. So what we're watching right now is this guy, Elder Naquam, right? He's an elder. I know somebody else, right? A long-suffering stench. Figure that one out. Long-suffering stench. All right? He's a bug out. Lo and behold, he's a bug out. Here it is, for years and years. You think this guy is sharp. He's out doing all manner of wickedness in everybody's face, thinking he's not going to get ferreted out for the wickedness he's done. Now, he's a known bug out. Bugged out. And to that I say, the water and call halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shem Barakatah. You understand? I'm not too surprised at that. That's been a long time coming because I know the guy personally. And I'm like, you are a wicked demon, and it's only a matter of time before you get ferreted out. And now he's a bug out. So this guy, Elder Naquam, right? Just like Elder Long-Suffering Stench. Most High will bug your ass out. You walk around using the scriptures, using this truth deceitfully, right? How smart is that? As though the Most High ain't watching you, or he can't make a determination that here it is, you got this knowledge and this wisdom, and you're using it in a deceitful way. What it means is that you have zero fear of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, and he's going to get you. Stupid. Stupid. Where's the humility? Where's the humble? Where's the fear? There's fear, humility, and humbleness. And it's never too late. But once a nigga is past a certain threshold of pride, there's no getting back. There's no rope and buoy long enough to reel a nigga's ass back in. You're way out there in the riptide. You're gone. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's scared me. I've seen it in other cases. I'm gonna just sit here and wait. It's gonna happen. I've seen a nigga get passes. Here's a pass. Here's a pass. I'm like, how's this guy getting passes? Well, now I understand. The Most High will give you enough passes till you hang yourself with whatever rope is left on the buoy. You're hung. Nigga reel you back in, you're like, there was no chance for it. Right? It's pretty easy and plain and simple. That this is clearly talking about what we see going in people's hands. It's one thing to see it on the page and be able to equate it, being just slightly intelligent. But to see the infrastructure being built, right? To understand what it means to buy and sell. To understand technology, how far it's come. let me give you a word of advice. Don't put elder in front of your name. Right? Most niggas, right? They do it on their own. I'm gonna put elder. I've been in long enough. I got 6 years in. I'm an elder now. Right? That's a trap. Okay? A nigga will do it. And then somebody will come blowing smoke up your ass trying to, snake or wiggle their way to the top. He'll come and call you an elder. Hey, elder. Elder Naquan, right? You got to cut. Whoa. Right? Elder Apostle Tahar goes, I don't know what the brother calls himself, elder, bishop, apostle. I'm as old as I am an elderly. Okay? If you want to equate the title elder to me, you got to put the LY on the back. Elderly brother Yashawan, right? Elderly, meaning old. I'll accept that. But elder, the straight fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the straight fear of spiraling out of control with pride, the straight need for humility, to remain humble, to remain grounded. You got to be like this. When that name, somebody comes and serves you that, you're like this. Oh, no, thank you. I'm cool. Immediately, I said, I don't know what the brother, this is what the elder apostle said. I don't know what the brother calls himself, apostle, elder, high priest. I'm like this. That was my opportunity. See, if I was an opportunist, I would have slapped elder right then. Oh, it's elder, high priest, grand poobah, extraordinaire, right? Nope, I'm just a servant. I'm a humble servant, studying humility. I'm studying humility out here, right? Because I see what it means to be puffed up. I see the results of that. Long-suffering stench is an example. Elder long-suffering stench. That's an example of that. But that is also long-suffering stench is also an example of your wisdom to do wickedness is going to catch up with you. Right? That's all that was. But who doesn't understand that now? Right? There's all these different pitfalls. If you understand what a pitfall is. Here's a pitfall for a kid to want to be an elder. Just a fucking kid. The elders of GMS, right? They earned that title. And then their superiors, their elders, who are the apostles, they're the ones that put that title on them. That's called order. It's at that point when the elder apostle comes and appoints you an elder, then you don't take it off your name. Then you stand up and you measure up to that title. Here's how it works. Here's order. You don't wait for some fucking novice to come up and say, elder, right? Trying to kiss your ass. And then the next day you're an elder and he called me elder. And then you run with it. If the elder apostle came up, as much as I don't want to be called elder, right? No matter what anybody said, the elder apostle Tahar came up and said, you are now an elder, or up and coming elder. You're elder Yahshua now. I'm like, oh. What do you do with that? You don't say, no, I'm not. That's wrong. That's out of order. Right? The spirit is elevated, is exalting at that point. That's from the Most High. This is a spokesperson for the Most High. So what you got to do is you got to come out of that. You have to humbly raise yourself into that title. And with that comes an enormous responsibility that you can't forsake, you can't shirk it. You have to fucking measure up. That's how it works. Not when somebody that came in the truth 6 months before decides because he knows more, you know more than him, so he's going to call you elder. Happened to me. Well, elder, I'm like, oh, you got to cut that quick. Now, again, the elder apostles affix the title elder. You don't decline that. All right? You don't resist the spirit. All right? And this is called order. Just let everything. Salaki. I'm long-winded. Got out here late. I was listening to my back catalog today. First Corinthians 14 and 40. Let all things be done decently and in order. Hey, there's a precept. A scripture came out. And guess what it was about? Order and decency. Just pat myself on the back. How about them precepts? For they watch out for your souls, paraphrase. Let the elders be counted worthy of double honors. But you want to be one? You want to be that guy? This guy done worked. Let's say he done worked for 30 years in the truth. And you got a whole 6 years in, but you want to be an elder. Amazing. amazing as hell. And even if you're 55 and if you're 60 and you got 5 years in the truth, does that make you an elder? It makes you an elderly, right? They got these positions in the medical profession. It's called an orderly, right? Well, in the truth, we have elderly. All right? You might be old, nigga, but you only 5 years old in the truth. Right? And my personal testimony is this. The older you get, right? I came in when I was 44 years old. I came in the truth when I was 44. All right? And memory's getting bad, right? Here it is, you got to learn all these precepts, and you got to have some sort of memory, recall. Then you got to study, right? Hey, you're old. You're an old fuck. Body's breaking down. Knees are bad, right? Well, your memory's going too. You understand? So there are levels to this thing. Every man has his lot. It behooves you to run your race, right? Understand your lot, okay? And it's real easy to get hemmed up out here. I've seen it. I've seen proud niggas, right? I've seen proud niggas become bug outs. I've seen real deal demons eventually get flushed out, right? And it scares me. Even a demonic ass nigga that makes me want to vomit, right? Finally get exposed and become a full-blown bug out. Even that scares me. It's scary. Everything that the Most High does, you know, should scare the shit out of you. You get fearful things. Uh-oh, here it comes. Precept coming. It is a fearful thing. Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. What is the operative word in that precept? Let's take a look at it again. Can you guess what it is? It is a fearful. There's that word fear, disguised in the word fearful. See, niggas don't have fear. A nigga is like underdog. There's no need to fear. Elder dog is here. Some of you niggas don't know underdog. And Simon Bar-Sinister. Some of you niggas look like Simon Bar-Sinister, right? And Cad, but some of you snot-nosed, diaper-wearing niggas are too young to understand underdog. Underdog had a little chant. He said, "There's no need to fear. Underdog is here." Well, guess what? There's always need to fear in the truth. Every waking and breathing moment. Right? Let's get Ecclesiastes. Let's prove that. Every waking and breathing moment, there's need to fear. Elder dog, you want niggas to believe that I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of nothing. That's the nigga you don't want to be next to. When a house drops on his ass, when the demon finally exposes you and you can't hold it back anymore, because the Most High done turned it up, turn that demon up on you, and then you go to exposing yourself. We don't know who King David is. That is a demon. Here it is. You part of GMS, but we don't know who King David is. You ain't part of GMS. You're not in GMS. You're not part of GMS. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of men. Your whole duty, nigga, is predicated. Look that word up. Dictate and pre. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Your whole duty as a man is predicated in what? In fear. So when you go to say, there's no need to fear, you're not even in the truth. If you're fearless, right? If when a whole camp is singling you up, when GMS, everybody fears GMS. You can't act like you don't. And not that you should fear GMS, you should fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But if you're bold enough to go up against GMS, right, which is stupid, you be like this, I'm going to fly under that radar. Here it is, you're so smart, you're going to challenge GMS as a whole. Because the Most High is dealing with you and nobody else, clearly, right? And then the Most High speaks through His prophets, and they all are exposing you for being a overblown charlatan, right? The elder brother up in LA goes, well, this is talking about, read this so we can show that this is talking about America. And then here comes the learned man and says, this is not talking about America, and then breaks it down. It shows that you're wrong. That's just one instance. You're being shown by GMS. You're wrong here, you're wrong here, you're wrong here, you're wrong here. It's not just the MOTV. You're wrong in a lot of places. You're wrong in pride alone. Just sheer pride. Sheer pride alone shows how wrong you are. How you walk, how you carry yourself, right? Just how, let's deal with order. Okay? The brother broke it down the other day. He goes, just because you add a couple of words to what you learned from the elders, Yahweh, Bahashim, Wamalak Yahweh, you add a couple of words to make it look like you created something or that you're different, right? Well, I'm not part of that. I learned everything from them. But if I add 2 words to the salute, I didn't learn from it. It's laughable. Okay? It's stone cold laughable. No fear. And now, can you even look in the mirror? See, right now it's time. Here's how it works. You got people leaving your camp. You're like this, oh shit. Uh-oh. The rats are jumping ship. Something wrong. When the rats are jumping ship, there's a hole in the boat. Right? Now, those rats jumping ship are smart enough to do, could be of the elect. Okay, but the point is that the rats are jumping ship. Something's wrong with your boat, dude. So what are you going to do? Are you going to examine yourself? We know the answer to that. The answer is no. Are you going to examine yourself whether you are or not in the truth, lest you be a reprobate, which you're being shown to be? What do you do after that? Are you going to examine yourself, see that something ain't right? Then are you going to repent, acknowledge your offense, get back in order, and then humble yourself? The things that you preach all the time, are you going to be a doer of the word? Because it's time to see that right now. What we need, what Israel needs to see, which is probably not going to happen. If this kid has any hope, we're going to see him take center stage and say, after examining Salakia family, after examining myself and the error of my ways, I've come to the conclusion that, just seeing what's going on around me, I've been in error. I'm going to repent. Are we going to see that? And here's why I say I don't think so.
Real quick, thank you.
We're not going to see that. And here's why. Here's why I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Hey, sis. Here's why I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. The amount of pride on this guy. Italian would say, the bulls. Right? Here's why we're not going to see. Here's why we're not going to see it. A man of the Lord save himself by going back and reading, well, how do I get myself out of this? You know what? It's got to be an incredible thing. Here's what the brother came on. The brother from the Wi-Fi's in St. Louis comes on and says, I've been watching everything that's going on for the last 2 weeks, and here's the conclusion that I've come to. I'm like, oh, We've all been watching. It's incredible, right? We're all watching what's going on. So if we're all watching what's going on, can you imagine being that guy? And then having all GMS come and do what GMS, you got the Rebukinator on down. Some brothers, their job is to do just that, right? That's what they do. And it's a beautiful thing. But can you imagine, like the brother said, the brother from St. Louis, Wi-Fi, here's what he said. He said, just like everybody, he said, we're watching everything, the back and forth. Right? Both sides are watching everything and taking notice. And the Most High is doing it. Okay? Can you imagine all Israel watching you? And you're just being made a spectacle of? Imagine if you were that guy. What would you do? Would you double down in wickedness? Somebody, if this many people came and said that I was wrong, I'm like this, well, I'm wrong? I'm like that many people? Let me go examine myself. Let me make sure that what I'm saying is right. Let me go double check. Let me do the math one more time. Let me get the Texas Instruments. I'm gonna blow the dust off the old calculator from 72. When they used to make them for real. Before fuzzy math and all of that. I'm gonna go get the real Texas Instruments. And I'm gonna recalculate this thing. Talking, but with the Spirit, I'm talking a lot, but with the Spirit. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Hey, you got to prove something. You have to prove that you can buy and sell with sin, because that was never proven. You ran from that one, buddy. That should scare you. That right there, that's it. When you go to your mirror to examine yourself, here's the first question. Did I ever really prove what the MOTB is? Or did I run from it? I might be in trouble. Fuck all of this fame, and I'm getting tithes on some T.D. Jakes shit. You gotta say bye to the fucking Learjet. Okay? You want the Learjet or you want the kingdom? Okay? I think you want the jet. T.D. Jakes got the jet. He's not coming back. He's not repenting. If you claim to be a camp leader, if you claim to be teaching in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Wamalak Yahweh Shah, and see, and And here's where a nigga slips and bumps his chin. Okay? Oh, nigga, you don't know nothing. You know what I do now? I don't know a lot, but here's what I do now. I know how to repent, humble myself, start all over again. Keep it simple. Don't be too deep. Be one deep. I know here's what I know. Okay? I know 5 scriptures well. I'm working on 6, but I know how to be a doer of the word. Oh, let's get that again. What was it? 2 Corinthians what? Second Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves. I know how to do that. Some people are like this. I don't need to examine myself. Niggas are coming to me for breakdowns. Niggas that were born 35 years before me and been in the truth 35 years before me are coming to me for the breakdown. Come on, man. That's probably how the Elder Apostle Gabar. Come on, man. Come on, man. How does it make sense? Make it make sense, you know? How and when do you examine yourself? That scripture doesn't apply to you, does it? I don't think it does. I don't think you think that scripture applies to you. And this is how dangerous it is. Okay? This is what the brother Ayash, I believe his name. I think he's from Mississippi. The Mississippi camp. Osh or Ayash. Kingdom-minded. Right? Very humble brother, very intelligent. Right? Looks to be about 35 years old. Very humble, orderly, very intelligent. He said, what did he say? Damn, it slipped my mind. I was trying to describe the brother. When it comes back, I'll bring it out. But he said something that was profound. Let's see if I can remember it. Salakia, this is my daughter real quick. See you at 5. Call your mom. Salakia. This is what the brother said from Mississippi, Ayash. He goes, we're in the time right now that you have to rely on your doctrine to get through these days. You're going to have to put this doctrine to practical application. He didn't use these words, but in a nutshell, this is what he said. You're going to have to apply your doctrine. Your doctrine is what's going to save you. Right? So if your doctrine is that the MOTB ain't the C hip, you're gonna take it. You're gonna encourage people to take it, right? Because that's not what it is. You can't say what. Okay, you did say what it is. It's sin, right? Okay, now prove yourselves, right? Examine yourselves, prove your own selves. You got to prove how you can buy and sell with sin. Which you can't. It doesn't make a lick of sense. But you still have to prove it, which you have not. You passed and you went straight into slander. Proving, here's what you did prove. When you don't prove yourself and you go into attack mode, right? You have proven that you lost. So that's what you proved. You proved all things that you lost, and you never proved what was asked of you, which is just to prove that you can buy and sell with sin. You haven't done that yet because we know that you can't. But we can prove how you can buy and sell with this C hip. Okay, we can prove that. Right? And we do it every day. All right? Now, back to what the brother said. You're going to have to use your doctrine to deliver yourself, to be delivered. Your doctrine, the use of your doctrine, right, will enable you to be delivered. Okay? So if the MOTB ain't the C hip and not taking it, right, you can clearly see everybody shifting. They motherfuckers downshifting around. Let me creep back into alignment with what is quickly becoming evident. You see, Nate, and his moron moment. Moron! If you would have listened to what I said, moron! We did. Said it loud and clear. It's Jew. But this nigga talking about CBDC now. You're caught. You can't think that you're going to speak on a CBDC which directly involves the C hip. You can't say, well, he saw Mike throw a C hip in there. You cannot. Dude, don't you know Scopeo? We got that Scopeo on that ass. You've been marked. You don't get no pass. Okay? We know about the moron moment. We know how you flip shit. Everything. You done flipped so many things, nigga. Right? You like the Casa de Fruta cup flipper out here. Right? You like the cup flipper. You be flipping. Flip-flopping. Okay? We're going to see a lot of flip-flopping. Okay? Because everybody, let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. Ain't no microchip. But now, he might throw a chip in there. That's your intro to the flip. You're going to flip. Oh, yeah, I ain't never saw it. It's Jew. That's not going nowhere. Okay? Know ye not that all things done in the dark are going to come to the light? And it's happening right now. Good, how are you?
Got through. I hope we're not interfering
No,
with
you're
you.
good, you're good. Yeah, we're in the time of great exposition, great judgment. Speaking of which, great judgment. Let's get the great judgment. Revelation 16 and 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which were using sin to buy and sell. Salaki. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Well, that's the judgment. A grievous and noisome sore. How does that happen if you're sinning? Okay. And you can rally and say, well, all sickness comes from not keeping the law. That's correct. But in this case, we're talking about the MOTB, which is the charadma that creates carcinogens in the body, that radiation. Okay? Like your cell phone, for example. Cell phone is tracking you wherever you go. And too much time on the cell phone, right? When that 5G, when that frequency is sent and beamed to it and it responds, and that whole interaction happens, that's dealing with microwaves, it's dealing with high frequency, and it causes a reaction in the body. Okay? They're talking about, what is it, 6F? 6D? Some bullshit. It should be 6G, but you know how Esau does shit. He's changing the letter. But 6 something, 6th generation something frequency, worse than the big dreaded 5G. Okay? And you're going to put a C hit because that can't be the MOTB, right? And there goes your doctrine. Your doctrine is supposed to lead you into salvation. But your doctrine is leading you into a grievous sore. So you can go spend the money that them little girls are giving you because you led away silly women. Let's get silly women. See, there's a reason. Let's get silly women. See, silly women paid you. Silly women. Gotta read up. Read the full chapter. Fine. 2 Timothy 3 and wow. 3 and 1. Second Timothy 3 and 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Here we are. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. That is, elder Naquam of the wife. It's clearly in love with himself. That's what puffed up. This is what it means to be puffed up with pride, that you're a lover of your own self. Covetous, boasters, proud. Woo! Did it just say proud? I don't know if there's any more proud out there. This dude is the word pride. Oh, he's proud. Proud. Blasphemers. Disobedient to parents. Oh, cut. Unthankful. Cut. Unholy. Without natural affection. Truce breakers. False accusers. Oh. Wow. Looks like the prophecies are jumping off the page right here. They're jumping off the page. Come over here. Come over here, brother. You hear me? Don't act like you don't hear me. Come over here. Come on. Don't run. Come over here. Talk about the Bible with me. You running. They running. Issachar got on his little suit, little Bible backpack, going to Bible school, looking back over the shoulder. I'm like, come on over here. There's nothing to be afraid of. Except for that missile that's going to get you now that you ain't in. That was your chance, bud. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness, look good out there until now, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. The brother said, should I leave them or should I just keep pushing the word and just push the truth? No. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. This guy who can load up precepts back and forth across the street, guess what? He falls into that category. Right? He done fell into damnation before the whole congregation. The Most High is laying this guy bare with his proud ass and snot coming down his nose. And guess what? He cannot recover from that. Can't. If the Most High can do anything. How about Shemiah Shai can do anything? But we know, after years and years watching this thing, we know where this is going. Right? We've seen it before. Without remedy. Let's get that. Without remedy. This is not the first time he's been warned. All right? Without remedy. Old Proverbs. Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck. See, this is this guy, you know, and not attacking him, just, you know, after the time that I've been in, I don't want to name the time, but when you've seen this, can you imagine what kind of eye the elder apostle Tahar has, having seen fallout after fallout after proud after proud after, he can just see you and read you. Not, I can imagine not too much surprises him. He's seen it all. And a kid can't even, you know, a kid, a fucking snot-nosed kid, thinks a grown-ass man, oh, you ain't been in the truth that long. Nigga, I've seen you. I've seen niggas like you before you were born. No, I wasn't in the truth then, but I know what I see. You little proud piece of shit. You're a fucking little proud piece of shit about to get cut down out here without Salakia. Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Here we are at the end, and the great Wi-Fi is going to be used by the Most High as an example of what not to do, from the top down. And the elder apostles, they predicted this about 4 years ago, right? Oh, the Most High is going to dismantle that whole thing from top to bottom, and people are going to come up out of that camp, right? The elect are going to be pulled out of the, we're watching it right now. It's just getting started. And when the ground starts rumbling and bellies start grumbling out of sheer hunger from the famine, right? Niggas are going to run out of that. And it's going to fall hard in front of everybody's face, just like the old men, right? The old hoary head in the truth for damn near 40 years, it gets no respect. What in the hell? Just crazy. Just crazy. Right? You should be following this guy. Not, I mean, you started out following, what happened? You became greater than. Now, the rats are jumping shit because they can see it, and you're under strong delusion. Wow. Anyway, so I could do this for another 40 minutes, but I'm not. I'm going to read Ecclesiastes again. And then I'm going to close the camp. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the most... Oh, see, some niggas are fearless. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of men. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See, them silly women got you caught up. That filthy lucre got you caught up. Lost your focus. Forgot how to be humbled, how to humble yourself. You got out of order, and then order was no longer a component needed in your doctrines, right? Where's order? As long as you're number one, everything's in order. Woo. It's not too late to repent. Are you going to do it? Probably not. Probably not. It's the book of Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For it is the Most High which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasures. Be a doer of the word. Do all things without murmurings and disputings, and in order. You know who you learned it from. Hold fast that which thou hast learned, and know to whom thou hast learned it. Paraphrasing. That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of the Most High, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect are edified. You brothers and sisters with that. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that are pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shalom.